we go. We are racing here in Imola, and that is a cracking start from Joe McCauley on the outside line of the first row. Oh, was that Simoncic? No, beg your pardon, that was Simoncic that had the wonderful start. Also a good start from our lead Ferrari of Grigoletto. So the lead Ferrari has muscled his way up into second. So Joe McCauley caught slightly napping there. Luke Whitehead still leads the way in the GT3s. That's a wandering. Oh, was that who's? Can't get this right. Hutrisky that went for a bit of. It was indeed. It was Hutrisky that went for a bit of an excursion on the outside line. 3 wide as we come into Tosa for the first time in anger. Oh, that is one of our yellow Ferraris that has gone for a bit. That's Gilhood from the Netherlands that has fallen right the way back to the tail end of the hypercar field as our GT3s are getting a bit mixed up. Look at Regan Mitchell in the McLaren. He's jumped up to 11th position. Bearing in mind he started right at the back of the field in the GT3s, but he's had a stonking start in the Sol McLaren alongside Marin Bessier in the Aston Martins. The Aston gets the inside line into Ravazza for the first time in anger, so it pushes Regan Mitchell back down into 12th. So that's actually allowed James Baldwin to close right in on Joe McCauley. Now, James isn't going to be playing the numbers game. He's going to make this move. He's got the momentum, but has he got the space? He's going to be boxed in behind the Porsche. Oh, that was well driven from Joe McCauley. He kept his head and boxed James Baldwin in behind the impending Porsche. And that's wrong foot to James Baldwin. Puts him into a spin. Oh, side by side, was that not quite from having to read. I'm so glad when you gave me the notes.
Yes.
Trisky. Oh, and a bit of a punch in the face there between McConnell.
He's sticking it in though. Oh, fabulous move from Mikolai there. The moisture going. Oh, big crash. Oh, it's not Callum Cripps has dumped it in the wall there. I think there's been some sort of coming together there, and it's definitely one of the Porsches, and it is Cripps. Schindler and Prendergast in very, very similar Ford Mustangs, whereas it looks like eventually big yellow Ford Mustang. As there we see Jules Neal and one of the 51 Ferraris just nipping through on the inside there, and there's not a whole lot of space here as Prendergast defends from Schindler, who tries to go round the outside at Tamburello, but Prendergast saw that one telegraphed a mile in advance.
Whitehead from Adanovsky. Again, is Adanovsky going to stay there, or is he going to start to press on? He's got the speed to do it. He's drawing alongside, is he? He's now making a statement of intent to Luke Whitehead. That's going to put the Aston on the outside line, unless he tries to cut underneath. Coming towards the chicane, and that's impact between the two, but not huge enough to wrong foot Luke Whitehead.
Oh dear, and that's Jack McConnell's lost the rear wing, so lots of drivers starting to fall off the road. Prendergast at half distance, he's decided he's had enough. He's gone into the pits. It'll be interesting to see what tyres he decides to put on. Is that Andonovsky? It's Andonovsky. He's been disconnected, I think. He's in the pits.
Oh, no. So, yeah, you look how many people are coming in now. Oh, that was a very... Yeah, well, that was a very late decision for Simoncic.
A lot of the GT3s, apart from, I think, Schindler and Wunsch and Delorme, everybody behind them seems to have gone for the wet. So I think Whitehead, Prendergast, there we go. So Luke Whitehead on track there in that 55 has come out, I think, just behind Kieran Prendergast. So Prendergast has got the undercut on those wet tyres there. Great strategy call.
And in he comes. So one further lap for Grigoletto. Can he make that work? Is the overcut the way to do it? In comes McCauley. In comes, I think it was Albin as well. So that is James Baldwin that is continuing on in the Toyota.
As we see Joe McCauley exiting the pits, I think he's still behind. Is he behind? He might actually be ahead of Grigoletto. So a quick stop from the Englishman to jump the Italian at his home race. Out they come from the pit exit. And are they all ahead of Yene Simoncic? Simoncic has come out just behind. There he is. So, he's just jumped Grigoletto there. So there we go. But no longer is this a fight for the lead. They're in a fight for potentially second or third here.
In comes Baldwin now in the lead Toyota in to get rid of his starting tyres. And Huchowski as well coming in to do the same.
Oh, goodness. That is a traffic jam and a half they've got to negotiate here. Simoncic and Grigoletto here. So Joe Macaulay will be laughing all the way to the bank at the moment because this is working out superbly for him. In fact, no, actually, has Grigoletto gotten by Simoncic and all of that? There we go. That is actually Joe Macaulay that Grigoletto is all over the back of. So victory is not quite out of reach just yet. So Kotrushki, Baldwin are tiptoed in. It'll have to be a quick stop for them to come back out in the lead, which I don't think they're going to. So I think Joe Macaulay is about to inherit the lead. Meanwhile, Prendergast still a second ahead of Luke Whitehead there. But those wet tyres, they may not necessarily be in his best shape as this race goes on. So they jump Baldwin and they jump Kotrushki there.
Oh, and that's Grigoletto having a go on the inside line, coming down towards the first chicane and gets the move done. Very, very nicely done.
As there we go, Remy Delorme is past Fabien Ballet there and that Aston Martin there. So Delorme is not hanging about.
Sebastian Wunsch he's being hustled by the Czech driver of Wojtek Polesny, side by side as they come down into the first chicane. That's brave to try and move there. They're still at it. So they go through the right. That's going to push Polesny to the outside line once again. Is he going to punch in the face there for Polesny from Wunsch? And no! Well held. Sebastian Wunsch, that could have gone horribly, horribly wrong.
We cut back to Wunsch and Polesny, who are fighting, I believe, just outside the top four here in the GT3 class. As you can see, that has Whitehead just ahead of them, and now Polesny a bit more overlap into that first chicane as Whitehead has cut the chicane entirely, and Polesny muscles his way through in that Ford Mustang on this similar liveried Seb Wunsch there as the 51 just trying to avoid the chaos there. But there's Patrick Schindler now all of a sudden right behind a very damaged looking Luke Whitehead there.
Not the first issue we've seen Luke Whitehead have tonight. Oh, and there is our Lamborghini. And then gives a bit of a hit check to Schindler. So Polesny, thank you very much. I'll have that third position.
There is Marocek, who now has passed Joe Macaulay as Joe desperately tries to conserve his virtual energy without running out. And it looks like Baldwin is making a splash and dash here at the end as well. The Mustang is probably the car of choice in that department as Polesny now pulls out to the right-hand side into Temporello. Whitehead, can he extend the corner? Can the Ferrari hold on to second position? Polesny shows his nose. Surely Whitehead's going to have to concede, and indeed he does so. And now Schindler has him on his hit list here. Free wide. Here comes Whitehead.
Oh, goodness me, Whitehead. He's lost that defense as well. That's going to be another position to the Mustang. So, well, this will be Wunsch in his Mustang. And also, here comes Delorme. He's going to have a whole load of slipstream, but nowhere to use that additional pace. They're side by side come Wunsch and Whitehead. The Ferrari has to bow out of that one. From the lead of the class for the first half of the race, he's now off the podium. He's going to have another go, is he? No, not quite. Couldn't get the overlap, but Delorme is there, ready to pick up the pieces should this all go wrong.
Yeah, Whitehead needs to keep his head here, because if he can just hold on to a couple of points for fifth here rather than being dropped to sixth, it could make all the difference come the end of the season. He goes wide at Toso and up the inside goes Remy Delorme.
But your winner for the first race of Season 2 in the Platinum Split in the Hypercars, Fabio Grigoletto. He is a happy man, wins on home soil in the Ferrari. There's a side-by-side, that's Wunsch and Delorme. They still have not resolved their argument either. So Delorme is wanting to try and get onto the podium, and so far Wunsch is just denying him so.
Out of the final corner at Rivazza 2 comes Kieran Prendergast. The reigning champion starts exactly the way that he intended then. He is on top here and wins in GT3 at Imola. So, confirmation then, after 34 laps of GT3 action, it is Kieran Prendergast that takes his fourth career victory to start the season out incredibly strong. Wojtek Polesny, the Czech driver, comes home in second in his first appearance, with Patrick Schindler rounding out the podium. So it's a Mustang top four with Sebastian Wunsch holding on from Remy Delorme in the Aston Martin. Luke Whitehead was strong very, very early on, took that pole position, but fell to sixth at the end with that trip through the gravel and damage hampering his charge. Thomas Leyden gets the BMW home in seventh from Marin Bessier in eighth. Michel Rodriguez got the other Mustang home in ninth, and Mark Veit rounded out the top 10 in the 777 Aston Martin. Fabien Ballet missed out on points in 11th position, a lap down, along with Regan Mitchell in the McLaren. Luca Fingard was our final finisher in GT3 in the 91 Porsche. Timotej Andonovski was running second early on, had to retire. Callum Cripps, no luck for him at any point during this race, sadly. The rain, he thought it was his saviour. It was actually the end of his race in the end. And Lucas Korsch did not get far at all.
Hypercar contingent then 38 laps to the good, and Fabio Grigoletto, the first Ferrari home. Yuri Sivincic, our lead Peugeot, in second place, with Niklas Hauben in third. Davron Rocek in fourth, our lead Toyota. Marco Bueno in fifth. Henrik Gamble in sixth. Michi Hoyer, not the way he wanted to start his title defense, but look at the time gap from him through to Sven Gielhut in ninth, with Arke Erchan in the middle in eighth position, with Paul Lapierre rounding out the top 10 positions in our hyperclass contingent. Walton Atrilla in 11th. James Baldwin tried the alternate strategy but did not work for him. He comes home 12th. Joe McCauley probably pushing his car over the line by the end of it in 13th. Daniele Farnielli in 14th. Again, Jules Neal trying alternate strategies, didn't work for him. Jack McConnell comes home in 16th. We lost in the course of the race, we think due to a disconnect. Mikolaj Utrisky